Hello, welcome to Oceanic Oracle. My name is Ari and welcome to my September TBR. I have an exciting readathon that I'm joining this month and it actually incorporates my TBR game into it. If you're new to my channel, usually I play a TBR game every month. Unfortunately for me, all my TBR cards were in a piece of luggage, which is like on the way to me. I got lost in the connecting flights that I took to get here and it's going to arrive like soon. I did incorporate it as best I could into the readathon that I'm doing this month. So this month is Bookoplathon. Now, if you don't know what Bookoplathon is, it's a readathon which is based on a Monopoly board. I will just get my board right now. It's a readathon that's based on a Monopoly board, so I've drawn this myself, and you basically move a piece around the board. So just like a normal game of Monopoly, you start on the go. Each of these spaces has their own individual prompts. I incorporated prompts from my usual card deck into my community chest or my community shelf cards. I'm going to link the announcement video for Bookoplathon up in the eye. And if you are interested in taking part, feel free, I'm going to link the introduction video to it. The basic rules are you roll 2 dice. So you roll them and then you move your piece around the board. I have a small thimble that I'm going to be moving around my board because I don't have very much stuff here. And I'm going to be playing. There are certain rules if you roll doubles. So if you roll the same number of peers, you have to add another book to your reading. And I'm hoping I don't have too many extra because I want to try and fit 7 books onto my TBR for this month. 7 is usually an achievable number for me to read during the month, but I'm going to be going to university and I'm going to be a bit busy. It's going to help me sort of figure out if I have time on the weekends or something to read as well as do some work, but I'm very excited. The board that Becca put out this year is so much fun and I can't wait to actually play it. If you want a full rundown on everything that's on this board, please check out Becca's video because she has actually explained every single space and I'm only going to explain the ones that I land on. And I guess we should get on with seeing what I end up picking for September. So we're going to go to my table and we're going to go and play. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so roll number 1 is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I have to read a book that's set or published in 1999 or before. Okay, so roll number 1, which was that space there, which was to read a book that was published or set in before 1999. And I have decided to go with an audiobook for this. I read this book last year. I think audiobooks are the way to go for this series. I'm going to be reading The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Now, this is the start of the Farseer trilogy, I believe. Robin Hobb has a large number of books set in this series, but she actually breaks them down into trilogies. They all take place in the same world, and this is the beginning. This book follows Fitz, I think, and he is the bastard son of the king of this kingdom, and because he is a bastard, he has some power, but obviously he's not a crown prince. So he's taken and trained as an assassin because he can go around to other courts and can observe what's going on, and he has easy access. I enjoyed this book when I read it. I couldn't really find many copies when I was in Hong Kong, so I think if I read them on Audible it will be a lot easier for me and it'll be better for my focusing. Plus I have a ton of stuff I need to do in September and I'm not going to be able to read for a lot of that, so if I'm walking somewhere it's just easy to pop on and listen to. So hopefully I like it and it'll be pretty exciting to see what goes on. So let's get on to the next roll. Okay, so roll number 2 is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so I have to draw or pick a book based on an emoji. Guess I've got to go figure that out.
Okay, so I've just landed on the emoji square. When you land on the emoji space, you need to go to this website. Becca has linked one in the file, the Google document, and you go to that page and you hit randomize and you get an emoji and you try and find a book that's related to that emoji. Now, I've already gone out and I have generated an emoji, so I'm going to stick the screenshot that I took here. So as you can see, I got a trident. This is just on the website that was linked in Becca's description. I got a trident, and this is great because this is one of my most anticipated reads of the year. It's by one of my favorite classicists, Natalie Haynes, and this is the story of Medusa. It's Stone Blind. Now you might be wondering, why does a trident make me think of Medusa? Now, if you know the story of Medusa, you know how she became a Gorgon. The reason she got turned into a Gorgon by Athena was because she was fooling around in Athena's temple with Poseidon. Probably not Medusa's fault. I believe Medusa was actually a sort of a devout worshipper of Athena, but Poseidon had an affair with her. Athena did not like it. Athena cannot take out any of her anger on another god, so she took it out on Medusa, turning her into a Gorgon. And this is the actual story of Medusa and what her life was like in her family and how her situation impacted her. I'm really excited and I'm so happy that I'm able to actually listen to this. This book comes out in September. I have pre-ordered it on Audible, so I will be listening to it. I'm so excited. I am really interested in seeing Natalie Haynes's telling of Medusa's story. The audiobook has been narrated by Natalie Haynes. Like, I just really enjoy her storytelling and I'm so excited. So I'm very happy that I got the trident in my emoji roulette. Can't wait to pick that up, and yeah, let's get going to roll number 3.
Okay, now for roll number 3. 7. Yes, mood read, that I can definitely do very easily.
Okay, so roll number 3 is a mood read, and I have a few options for this because obviously I don't know what I'm going to be reading for this space. It's just going to be based on what I feel like in the month. Right now I feel like reading a romance, so if I get to this prompt after the 6th of September, then I'd like to pick up The American Roommate Experiment. If you've read The Spanish Love Deception, it's by the same author. This comes out in September and I'm so excited. Hopefully I get to it. If not that, then I also have Electra that I am going to be listening to. I have a few of them lined up in case. It's nice to have a book where I don't actually have to assign anything to it. So this is going to be fun. And yeah, watch my weekly vlogs to figure out what I actually end up choosing. So there's that.
Okay, so roll number 4 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third perspective. Okay, we'll see what I can find.
Roll number 4 is third perspective. Now I have checked and this book is told in third perspective. It might be cheating because technically I believe this book's multi-perspective, but I'm just going to go with it as third perspective because it is told in the third perspective. I am so excited. So this is the Atlas 6. So this story is quite popular on BookTok and I've seen it a lot on Bookstagram. Now that I have TikTok, I'm enjoying myself just scrolling through BookTok and all that sort of thing. But this is about 6 extraordinary magicians, 5 chances to win, 1 secret society. So it's about these magicians competing against each other for a space in this prestigious magician society, underground society. I have heard lots of good things about this from what I've seen online. You have enemies. I don't know if they'll become enemies to lovers, but there are enemies. These enemies can both control matter with their minds. You have a telepath who can perceive the deepest of secrets. You have someone who understands the flow of life itself. You have an empath who can manipulate emotions and desires of others. And you have someone whose powers mystify even themselves. It sort of reminds me of a series by Sophie Mackenzie. I think it's the Medusa Project. If you're looking for science fiction as opposed to sort of like magical realism. Like the Medusa Project was a really interesting set of books similar to this, but it was created by but there were these people who got these powers from experiments that were conducted on them, and it was about the story was about them running away from the facility that they were a part of. It was really good, but this, for some reason, that's just reminded me of it, and I'm intrigued. And I know the sequel is out, so if I like this, maybe I'll stick the sequel on a list for something my sisters could get me for Christmas. So very exciting. Can't wait to pick that up.
Okay, so roll number 5 is a double. Great, I guess I'm reading an extra book, and it's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Community shelf. So, community shelf, let's see what I've got here. Okay, and in an even number. Okay then.
Now, as you've just seen, I've rolled a double. So I'm going to be reading 8 books instead of 7. We'll see if I have time for that, but this is going to be interesting. Anyway, as you just saw, I landed on the community shelf card, and I picked up the card that says ends in an even number. That is actually a card that I usually draw in my usual set of prompts in my card game. So I'm glad I actually picked this up. The book that I've chosen for this is one of the books that my sister got for me, if you saw that video. It's A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. There are no teachers, no holidays, friendships are purely strategic, and the odds of survival are never equal. Once you're inside, there are only 2 ways out. You graduate or you die. I really like school settings in books, so I'm hoping I like this, and I have heard really good things about Naomi Novik's writing. It ends on 320, as you can see there. It just sounds up my alley. I'm really intrigued because I've heard mixed reviews about this, so some people love it, some people hate it. I think it's definitely a foray into dark academia in the book setting. I haven't actually read very much dark academia, so I'll see how I feel about it. I am in the mood for more darker fantasies the closer we draw to autumn. I'm very excited to see what I think. I've heard some good and some bad things about this, and I'm looking forward to seeing where I actually stand. So very exciting. And thank you, Sienna, for getting me that book.
Okay, so roll number 6 is an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, dice roll roulette. Great. Let me just look up these rules and I will come back. Now it's time to roll for dice roll roulette. And I've got 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. Okay, so I have to read a book that's around 250 pages. So let's go see what I have.
As you've just seen, I've landed on dice roll roulette, and I rolled 5. I have to read a book that's between 225 pages and 174 pages long. You do not understand how many of my books, none of my books fit into that. Everything I read is usually at least 300. So I went out to town and I actually picked up My Mechanical Romance. Now, this is actually a book by an author that I have previously mentioned on this list. So I'm going to be reading 2 books by the same author this month. So Olivia Blake is a pen name for Alexei Ferrell Fulmuth. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Dyslexia does not help me with name pronunciations. Like, it really does not help. So these 2 books are by the same author, and if I just go to the last page, it is 266 pages. I don't think it's going to focus, but it's 266 pages. So fits right in the middle of that bracket. It's about an engineering club or a robotic club, I believe. And it's about 2 sort of academic rivals falling in love with each other. That just sounds really cute. This is a YA book as opposed to the Atlas 6 is more of a adult fantasy or new adult fantasy. And I'm really excited, and we'll see if I like their writing. and I'll see how these sort of, if I can detect a certain writing style. I am actually tempted to read this on the 1st of September, but we will see, because I am in a bit of a romance mood, but that's just me. So very excited, and I'm very glad that I picked that up.
Okay, now on to what would have been my last roll if I hadn't have rolled the double. So let's hope for no more doubles. 6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Favorite trope. Oh yes, perfect.
Roll 7. You would have been my last one. Unfortunately, it's not, but here we are. So for roll number 7, I rolled favorite trope. I don't know if this is like a trope or it's just specific for me, but if you can tell by like the percentage of sort of like Greek myth stuff I've talked about in this video, I really like Greek mythology. I like the idea of enemies to lovers, I guess. I also like friends to lovers. So I've got a few favorites that might turn up in this book. They don't sell this in Hong Kong. It's not sold, but I found it when I went to Waterstones when I was looking for another book, and it's Lore Olympus. Now, this is a graphic novel, and it's a retelling of the Hades and Persephone myth. Not my favorite myth. I think there are other better Greek love stories out there than Hades and Persephone, but in the current moment in time, Hades and Persephone is quite popular. This is a sort of modern-ish take on the Hades and Persephone myth. So it is about Olympus, but it's set in like a modern city. So you have Persephone, who's sort of quite naive and who promises to remain a like virgin goddess forever, moving into the city and starts to experience life. The art style is absolutely beautiful. I cannot express how beautiful this is, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the story goes. This book just looks so beautiful, and I really want to love it. Even though I have these feelings about the story, I want to give it a try because so many people have said it's fantastic, and the next book I believe is either out or is coming out, and if I like this, then that one's also going on like a Christmas list. I really hope I like it, and I hope that my feelings about the story aren't really that impactful, because I think this one is a lot different from some of the other books that I've read. I really, really want to love it, and this artwork is beautiful. So this is coming with me, and I really hope I like it.
And finally, roll number 8, or hopefully it will be the last roll. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Read a book that features a mystery. Okay, let's see what I have.
Final roll, thank goodness. Roll number 8, which was read a book featuring a mystery. And this book is one of my 12 books for 12 months. This is the sequel to Richard Osman's first book, which I read in March. And this book is The Man Who Died Twice. Now, I am borrowing this from my grandparents. I know this is a mystery novel because the first one obviously was a mystery novel, same as this one. The first book was called The Thursday Murder Club, and you have this Thursday Murder Club who meets up again, and another incident happens at the retirement home. These books are quite fun. You get points of view from various older retirees, and it's quite fun. Hopefully I like this book like I like the first one. They're not like all-time favorites, but when I saw read a book featuring a mystery, I thought this was perfect opportunity. Those are all the books that I'm going to be reading in September. It seems like a lot, and I don't know how much time I'm going to have and what I'm going to be doing. So I plan on doing weekly vlogs if I actually do them, but I'm not going to be able to do a lot of filming, or if I film I'll only be doing bits discussing stuff that I'm reading, because I am moving in early September and I have my welcome week that actually starts pretty soon. So it's going to be a busy time for me. I'm not going to have much time, at least the first initial week. So I do have a few physical books I need to take with me. These are the physical books I'm going to be taking with me. I mean, the heaviest one definitely has to be Lore Olympus, but I think if I take this in my carry-on, I should have space to pack these in my suitcase. And it helps immensely that I have a Kindle. So if I do end up feeling like reading a different book, like I know the Sunbearer Trials come out next month and I'm probably going to end up buying them on my Kindle because I'm like that and I want to read that sort of thing, and that's just the way it goes. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you want more bookish content. I hope you have a wonderful day or night depending on when you're watching this. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video, which will be when I'm in Gibraltar. Bye.